Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the course Management Information Systems. Today we're going to start off with Module 2, the Information Technology Infrastructure. In the last lecture, we were discussing the Chapter 2 from Module 1 that was about the organization and the information technology and the information systems that were used in the organization. In that chapter, we discussed the organization as a dimension of the information systems. We discussed that organization cultural, organizational changes, the business processes in the organization all affect the kind of information systems that are used in a certain organization. While discussing that, हमने ये भी डिस्कस किया था कि इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम्स के डिफरेंट टाइप्स कौन से हैं जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में यूज़ हो रहे हैं. वी डिस्कस्ड द ट्रांजैक्शन प्रोसेसिंग सिस्टम्स and other kinds of information systems that were at the management level, the information systems that were at the enterprise level, also the information systems or the technologies that were used for the collaboration. And we said that unless and until the people in the organization are ready to accept the technology, are satisfied users of the technology, and the technology that is being used is properly diffused and infused in the organization, only then the information system will work in that organization. Today, we're going to start off with the Chapter 1 that is about the information technology infrastructure. उसमें जो पहली चीज़ हम पढ़ेंगे, that is about the hardware and software. Like I told you last time, आपका ये hardware and software, I will not go into the details of the workings of how certain things work. हल्का सा briefly आपको बताया जाएगा that these are the technologies that are being used. Hardware इस किस्म का होता है, software इस किस्म का होता है, and they can be used. उनके basic features क्या हैं that affect that are to be considered when you're working, when you're creating an information system. Right, ji. The first thing I'd like to tell you about the learning objectives of this lecture. The first thing you're going to learn is that you will be able to identify the IT infrastructure and its components. That is, IT infrastructure जो है as a whole, what is it, and also what are the components of the IT infrastructure. Then you will be able to describe how to select the hardware for information systems. थोड़ा सा आपको overview देंगे about the hardware, what hardware के अंदर क्या-क्या चीज़ें include हो रही हैं. Again, it will be kind of a revision from your CS course जो आपने पहले पढ़ा था, Introduction to Computing. You're pretty much aware with the hardware and software already. Then we're going to describe characteristics of memory, the processor, the storage and input and output devices. ये सारी hardware devices हैं, इनके बारे में हम different features इनके pinpoint करेंगे. What are the basic characteristics जिनकी basis के ऊपर आप एक hardware या memory या input and output devices को select करते हैं. Alright जी. Okay, the information technology infrastructure basically consists of any kind of investment that is in the hardware, in the software, as well as the consulting services provided along with it, which includes the education as well as training and research. Okay? So when we define the information technology formally, we say that it is not only a collection of physical devices and software application, but it is also about the services that are provided with it. ठीक है, और उस services वो जो this, as you can see here on the slide, and there are a number of services provided by the IT infrastructure. हम इस सबको service platform कहते हैं. The complete package that comes under the category of IT infrastructure, and it's not only the physical devices and the software applications associated with them, but also there are other services on the whole that are provided in the whole platform. ठीक है, the number one is the computing platform. So this consists of simply computing devices that are used to connect the different employees in the organization. For example, simple table PCs हैं. Then we have laptops, we have smartphones, mainframes, servers. ये वाली सारी चीज़ें computing platforms की category में आते हैं. Then we have the telecommunication services. यहाँ मैंने telecom services लिखा हुआ है, telecommunication services that provide the voice data as well as video connectivity to the different employees in the organization. Then we talk about the data management services. Data management services means the services and the devices that are used for storing and as well as managing the data that is stored for the organization. Organization का जो data होता है उसको store और manage किस तरह करना है. Those services. Then the application software services means that the enterprise wide level के ऊपर जो application software use हो रहे हैं. For example, जो हमने पहले भी पढ़े थे that the enterprise level applications were the enterprise resource planning, then we had the knowledge management softwares, then we had the CRM and the supply chain management. So ये सारे softwares enterprise level के application softwares ये इस category में आ रहे हैं. Then we have the physical facility management means the services that are required for the physical installation of the computing devices and any other kind of telecom devices that are needed by the organization. IT management services means that the planning and development services for the IT that are required by the organization and that are required when you are setting up a whole IT platform, as well as the project management services. ये सारी IT management services में आ जाती हैं. Then we have the IT standards services. That means the certain policies are created, that is कि कौन सी technology किस तरह use करनी है और क्यों use करनी है. So this becomes a policy of the organization that a certain technology is to be used under such circumstances. Then we have the IT training. IT training basically means that the education and the consulting that is given to the employees to use a certain kind of new technology. So that comes under the IT training service. IT research service means that those kind of services, that means the research related services that are provided for the product research or the IT research that can be used for future developments. Right जी? So this is basically a simple service platform जो कि हम एक IT technology, information technology infrastructure के अंदर define करते हैं. So these are the different things that come under the category of a service platform. Next, why do we need to know the service platform? Is that unless and until that you know कि वो जो technology है, how is it being used and who is going to use it, unless and until you don't know this, then the value of technology will not become apparent. So the value of technology, कि उस technology को use करने की value क्या है, even though if that technology is costly, so how do you balance the value of that technology, is when you define that who are the users and how is the technology being used. So ये सारा जो platform बताया गया service platform, when everything is known to you, that all these services are to be given, then you have to know who is going to use these services and why are we going to use these kind of services. ठीक है, एक technology use करने की reason क्या है. And these IT infrastructures have evolved over time. Evolved means के वो develop होते गए हैं, change होते गए हैं towards in a better way. और किस लिए चेंज होते गए हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल IT इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स में आपके पास पहले बहुत बड़ी बड़ी चीज़ें होती थी, बल्कि सिस्टम्स होते थे, कॉस्टली सिस्टम्स होते थे. नाउ दे हैव evolved into much finer, smaller as well as relatively cheaper systems. ठीक है, monitor screens होती थी, huge cathode ray tube screens होती थी. Now we have the flat screens, right? LCD monitors हैं आपके पास, LCD screens हैं. Right, so the technology has greatly improved in a better way, and this is because of the developments in the computer processing, the memory chips, the computer hardware and software applications. So इन सारी चीज़ों में जो technology improve होती गई है, उसी तरह IT infrastructures भी evolve होते गए हैं और change होते गए हैं, and उसी के हिसाब से businesses are adopting these new technologies. And why are these technologies improving every year, every day? Is because to make technology practical for the business. Businesses के लिए technology को practical करने के लिए, so that they can be easily used by the organizations, this technology is getting better day by day. Right ji? So the concept here is that the technology has evolved over time, and that is due to the very basic changes in the chips, in the memory chips, in the processing chips, in the hardware devices, in the software applications. So everything has evolved, the whole IT structure has evolved because of the changes at the basic level. Okay, here again we're going to define the IT infrastructure into 7 components. Like we said that हम इसके components भी पढ़ेंगे, तो वो जो services से ही हमने components निकाले हैं, the 7 components of the IT infrastructure. Number 1 is the hardware component. Number 2 is the system software component. Number 3 are the application softwares, again at the enterprise level. Number 4 are the data and management component. Number 5 is the telecommunication and networking component, and then we have the internet component, and the last we have the consulting as well as the different services that are associated with it. That means the system integration. This is the last component of the IT infrastructure. So आपके hardware, software से लेके data management, telecom, internet, consulting as well as system and integration, कि किस तरह सारे system को combine करके चलाना है इन सारी चीज़ों को, that all comes under the category of the IT infrastructure. So the very first one is the hardware component, और हम सबसे पहले वही देखेंगे what are the hardware components. सिंपल बेसिक डायग्राम है आपके प्रोसेसिंग साइकिल की, सिंपल उसी को एक्सपैंड करके बताया गया है दैट आपके हार्डवेयर डिवाइसेस कौन कौन सी होती है. नंबर 1 वी हैव द इनपुट डिवाइसेस, ठीक है. देन वी हैव द आउटपुट डिवाइसेस एज वेल एज द सेकेंडरी स्टोरेज डिवाइसेस, ठीक है. इन सारों को हम थोड़ा थोड़ा आगे जाके देखते हैं. एज वेल एज द कम्युनिकेशन डिवाइसेस. हियर कम्युनिकेशन डिवाइस डजंट मीन द माइक्रोफोन एंड द वीडियो कम्युनिकेशन थिंग. कम्युनिकेशन डिवाइसेस हियर मीन द मोडेम एंड राउटर, वो वाली कम्युनिकेशंस जो आपके कंप्यूटर्स को कनेक्ट कर रही हैं, ठीक है. एंड देन इन द मिडल वी हैव द प्रोसेसिंग डिवाइस, ठीक है, जिसमें आप जिसको हम CPU भी बोलते हैं. CPU में आपके पास आ जाता है कंट्रोल यूनिट एंड अरिथमेटिक लॉजिक यूनिट एज वेल एज आपके एक सिस्टम यूनिट में व्हेन यू हैव द CPU यू आल्सो हैव द मेमोरी अटैच्ड इन इट, दैट इज द प्राइमरी स्टोरेज, ठीक है. आपकी मेमोरी इज ऑलवेज द प्राइमरी स्टोरेज एंड सेकेंडरी स्टोरेज में आपके पास दूसरे स्टोरेज डिवाइसेस आ जाते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल द हार्ड डिस्क एंड CDs वगैरह. राइट जी. अब प्रोसेसिंग डिवाइस में आपके पास क्या हो रहा है, सिंपल आपका मशीन साइकिल यहाँ पे हो रहा है, जिसमें आपके इंस्ट्रक्शंस फेच हो रही हैं, डिकोड हो रही हैं, and then execute हो रही हैं, and then store हो रही हैं either in the memory or in the registers or in any other kind of storage, ठीक है. So this is your very basic hardware component pictorial view में आपको दिखाया गया, which consists of different devices as well as the processing devices, जो कि inside, and all of these things are communicating with each other through the system unit, ठीक है. आपके system unit में what did we have? We have the CPU, we have the memory, we have other expansion slots जिसमें आपके different video card adapters connect हुए होते हैं. यहाँ पे when we talk about this machine cycle, तो इसमें machine cycle time होता है that would give you the speed of the computer, right? And that is measured in the form of instructions per second. So basically there are million instructions per second, for example a certain number of instructions million per second. So उसका जो measurement figure है that is in MIPS जिसे कहते हैं, right जी. इसके बाद we have the memory, ठीक है. बाकी सारी चीज़ की डिटेल में नहीं जा रही, I only described you with the machine cycle time के feature क्या है, and then we're going to see कि memory क्या है. Alright जी. When we talk about memory, then memory के दो basic types हैं, जिसको हम कहते हैं volatile and non-volatile. ठीक है. volatile memory में आपके पास आ जाती है RAM, random access memory जिसको हम कहते हैं, and non-volatile में you have ROM, that is the read-only memory. So like the name suggests, volatile memory कौन सी होती है, जिसके contents lose हो जाते हैं once the power is switched off. Non-volatile memory on the other hand is a circuit board that retains the contents, ठीक है. manufacturer से ही उसके contents already उसके अंदर programmed होते हैं and they stay there. They do not it does not lose its contents once the power is shut off. So RAM is the basic memory जो आपके control unit और ALU के साथ use हो रही है as a primary memory. ROM on the other hand is the kind of memory that stores the instructions जो कि already computer को startup करने के लिए use होती हैं. So it contains the startup instructions. Again, RAM के अंदर we have different types. We have the dynamic RAM. We have the SDRAM, synchronous dynamic RAM. And then we have the EDO, the very basic type of RAM. So the simple RAM and the EDO RAM से ज़्यादा faster is the synchronous dynamic RAM as well as the DRAM. ROM में again we have further types. We have the programmable ROM as well as the erasable programmable ROM. Again, programmable ROM and erasable programmable ROM, again the name suggests that एक programmable ROM में you just have the manufacturer chip and you only program it once. ठीक है, उसके बाद it cannot be erased. On the other hand, erasable programmable ROM means that it can be electrically erased and उसके contents बार-बार change हो सकते हैं, but through electrically changing the contents. And this kind of ROM is used in the RFID chips. ठीक है, again ये वाली जो technology है RFID, we're going to study this in the emerging technologies. इसके detail में जाएंगे कि ये किस तरह काम करते हैं. So this is the kind of ROM used in the RFID chips. इसके अलावा we have the double EEPROM that is used in the flash memories. ठीक है, आपकी फ्लैश मेमोरी में इस किस्म की रोम यूज़ हो रही है. ठीक है, सो बेसिकली आपको बताने का मकसद था सिंपल एक रिविजन हो जाए अबाउट द काइंड ऑफ मेमोरी टाइप्स एंड किस किस्म की टाइप्स की मेमोरीज होती हैं. इसके अलावा वी हैव द another kind of memory that is called the cache memory. Cache memory जिसको हम बोलते हैं which is a high speed memory. आपके प्रोसेसर और दूसरे रैम को एक्सेस रेट जो है that is a bit slower than accessing the cache memory. So cache memory में आपके पास basically वो वाली instructions stored होती हैं that are frequently used. So जब आपका CPU access करता है instructions, then it looks into this cache first. So cache में आपके पास L1 cache, L2 cache, L3 cache हैं. So it looks at them one at a time. That is, it accesses the L1 cache first. उसमें अगर instructions नहीं हैं, then it checks the L2, then L3, and in the end it checks the RAM for the instructions that it has to decode and execute. So आपके पास this cache memory is a high-speed memory, and basically it is created for the same basic purpose that the access rates को increase कर दे. प्रोसेसर से जो instructions pick memory से instructions pick करने का time है उसको ये faster कर देता. Right जी. Now the cost of memory capacity are continuing to decline. ठीक है. Like I said, the technology is getting finer and cheaper every year. So the effectiveness of the computer-based information system depends on the memory capacity too. जिस तरह की आपकी memory capacity और जिस तरह का उसका access rate है, that is also a feature to be considered when you are considering what kind of memory to be used in the computer-based information system. So, for example, there are certain programs that require, or certain softwares that require more memory. For example, computer-assisted product design require more memory. अगर आप इस किस्म का प्रोडक्ट डिज़ाइन करें जिसमें आपको ग्राफिक्स यूज़ करने हैं और सिमुलेशंस यूज़ करनी है, so that means that requires more memory. ठीक है. Then there are simpler tasks. अगर आपने करनी है वर्ड पे काम कर रहे हैं या किसी एम्प्लॉय ने सिंपल एक्सेल यूज़ करना है, then that means कि उसमें इतनी मेमोरी कंजम्पशन नहीं है जितना कि एक कंप्यूटर एडेड प्रोडक्ट डिज़ाइन में ज़रूरी है. Right, then we're going to talk about the multiprocessing and parallel computing. Multiprocessing is simply which involves simultaneous execution of two or more instructions at the same time. So इसमें multi-core में basically you have two processor chips on a single chip. ठीक है. इसमें क्या होता है कि आपकी different instructions and two or more instructions हैं जो कि एक ही time पे execute हो रही हैं. That is called the multi-core processing. ठीक है. मल्टी कोर प्रोसेसिंग में आपने वर्ड सुना होगा, व्हेन यू बाइंग अ कंप्यूटर दैट इज द डुअल कोर processor. That means a processor has two chips that can perform different operations, and this is very important. और basically उस चीज़ के लिए यूज़ होता है when you are using computers for different purposes. आपने email खोला हुआ है, internet check कर रहे हैं, emails check कर रहे हैं, as well as you're playing a game on the computer as well. So आपके multiple tasks हो रहे हैं at the same time. And AMD and Intel are the basic two companies that manufacture these kind of chips. Then we have this technology that is the Core Do technology, जो कि आपका performance per watt of power बता रही होती है. ठीक है. So Core Do technology है, that is that वो आपको define करता है कि computer की power कितनी है. Then we have the parallel computing, is simultaneous execution of same task on multiple processors. एक ही task के different sub tasks कर दिए जाते हैं, and then those tasks are performed by the different processors. ठीक है. And there are certain computers that जिसके ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा parallel processing हो रही होती है, that are called the massively parallel computing systems. ठीक है. In large organizations जब बहुत सारा data execute होता है, then those computers require the massively parallel computing systems. Again, parallel computing की दो और types हैं, that is the single instruction multiple data, and then we have the multiple instruction multiple data parallel computing types. Right जी, इसमें आपके पास multiple instruction multiple data MIMD is pretty much like the multiprocessing here. Okay, इसमें एक और concept आ गया है grid computing का. Grid computing is the use of a collection of computers to work in a coordinated manner to solve a certain problem. ठीक है. इसमें पिछले वाले example में when we talk about the parallel computing, उसमें they were different, the processors were in a single computer जो कि कोई task perform कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. Grid computing में you are using the processors of the different computers that are working in a coordinated manner. ठीक है. And what do they do? They solve extremely large processing problems. Different computers जो हैं उनके processing time अगर free है तो आपका एक in that whole network एक central server होता है that acts as a grid leader. कोई भी task आती है उसको सब task में divide करता है, and then it sends it over to different computers that are sitting idle और कोई काम नहीं कर रहे. ठीक है. So their processing time is used in solving a certain problem or doing a certain subtask. After when all the task has been completed, they come back to the main server and where everything is combined together. Okay, so basically it is a way of utilizing the processing time of different idle PCs. World Community Grid एक community है जो जिसमें लोग अपने computers voluntarily देते हैं so that they can perform certain tasks. They download the software called Rosetta और उसके through they become a member of the World Community Grid. So World Community Grid में different projects आ रहे होते हैं, और different projects means that there are projects that require execution and they need executing a large number of data. Okay? So so these kind of projects when they use the World Community Grid, so इसमें different computers involved हो जाते हैं that are being used as their computer in a way. ठीक है. Because आपके computer का processing power use हो रही है इसमें. Right, so grid computing again is a collection of computers that work in a coordinated manner to solve a certain task. Parallel computing से ही इसका concept आया है, because parallel computing में you're using simple the different chips in the same computer, processor chips, और इसमें different computers के processors use हो रहे हैं. Right, now ये parallel computing and grid computing, why is it important for the businesses? Is because businesses use them for modeling, simulating, and analyzing large amounts of data. So it can also be used for the marketing programs for boosting sales and customer relationships. For example, customers का बहुत ज़्यादा data अगर gather हो रहा है, then marketing department ने figure out करना है कि कौन से customers को हम किस किस्म के sales offers दें. ठीक है, किस किस्म की offers दें. So these kind of data can be analyzed by grid computing or parallel computing. ठीक है जी, कि आपको बहुत large amount में data जब analyze होना है, right जी? So and you require a lot of processing power for these. So basically parallel computing and grid computing are used to utilize the power resources of the different computers in the organization. ओके जी, अभी हमने देखा था सिंपल आपके जो सीपीयू के जो कंपोनेंट्स थे उनको देखा था हमने, प्रोसेसर्स की फीचर्स देख लिए थे, हमने देख लिए थे मेमोरी के फीचर्स, ठीक है. नाउ वी गोइंग टू सी के आपके सेकेंडरी स्टोरेज जो है वो किस तरह यूटिलाइज हो सकता है फॉर द एंटरप्राइजेस. नाउ बिकॉज द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रिक्वायर to store large amount of data, और ये जो need of data storing जो है that is increasing per year at a rate of 100%, ठीक है, बहुत ज़्यादा organizations data generate करते हैं, so they need secondary storage for that and large amounts of secondary storage for that, ठीक है. secondary storage के apart from the primary storage उसमें difference क्या है, because it's non-volatile, it has greater capacity and it has greater economy. आपकी मेमोरी चिप से ज़्यादा आपकी सेकेंडरी स्टोरेज डिवाइसेस चीपर हैं, राइट जी. सो इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम्स नीड्स डिटरमिन द एक्सेस मेथड, स्टोरेज कैपेसिटी एंड पोर्टेबिलिटी ऑफ दीज स्टोरेज सेकेंडरी स्टोरेज डिवाइसेस. इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम्स जो हैं उसकी नीड के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि आपको किस किस्म का सेकेंडरी स्टोरेज रिक्वायर है. So if you have the faster access rates of a certain storage device, that means it can be expensive than the slower media. So you have to balance the kind of access rates require as well as the expense and the cost. Also, secondary storage में जो एक और issue that is under consideration is the security. That means that the secondary storage has to be secure, और उसके secure करने के तरीके आपको पता होने चाहिए. Right जी. Now when we talk about the secondary storage, तो आपके पास ये चार different types आ जाती हैं. Number one is the magnetic disk. Magnetic disk में आपके पास basic one is the hard disk. Right जी. Now hard disk had the benefit of having larger capacity as well as a quicker access time. लेकिन initially hard disk का problem जो था that was about the portability. Now we have hard disks जो के pocket size hard disks हैं. Right, and they are relatively cheaper, उनका size small हो गया, and they are easily you can attach them to the computer and they are portable, you can take them anywhere with you, as well as so that means you have a larger capacity and you have the portability as well. Right, optical discs में you have different kinds of discs जिसमें आ जाती हैं दो major categories हैं, CDs and DVDs. Compact discs, CD, again दो तीन types की है. You have the CD-ROM, again that is as the name suggests, ROM means that it has been written by the manufacturer and you cannot change the contents. CD recordable, that means you can change the content only once. CD read-write is that you can continuously change the contents of the CD. Similarly, you have the digital video device, that is the DVD जिसको हम कहते हैं. Again, DVD is DVD-R recordable as well as DVD read-write, and DVD has a much larger capacity than a CD. For example, CD में you have a 740 MB of data storage capacity, whereas DVD में you have the 4.7 gigabytes of storage capacity. Right जी. So and afterwards optical disc में you have Blu-ray discs as well that have even larger capacity, storage capacity than the simple optical discs. Then we talk about the memory cards. Again, memory cards आपके small storage, secondary storage devices होते हैं that are used in the digital cameras, video cameras, photo printers, handheld games, smartphones में ये आपके छोटे छोटे memory cards use हो रहे हैं. Again, small circuit board होता है that is storing the information. फ्लैश मेमोरी अगेन आपकी पोर्टेबल डिवाइस है, ठीक है, जिसको हम सिंपल कभी कभी USB डिवाइस कह देते हैं या USB कह देते हैं, बिकॉज इट कैन गो इनटू द USB पोर्ट. यू कैन सिंपली कनेक्ट इट इन द USB पोर्ट. मेमोरी कार्ड्स के लिए यू रिक्वायर मेमोरी कार्ड रीडर्स. Flash memory can simply be plugged into the USB port and it can appear as a drive on your computer system, or you can simply add and delete data from it. So flash का word basically क्या है, that you can simply change a certain block of data. Blocks में आपका वो data आता है, simple file की form में नहीं आ रहा, chunks or blocks की form में you can transfer the data and change the data in the flash drive या flash memory. ठीक है, again like I said before, आपका electronically erasable programmable ROM is the circuit board that is being used in the flash memory. The secondary storage में again we have a concept of RAID, that is redundant array of independent disks. Now organizations want that उनके जो ये जो storage devices हैं, for example the CDs, DVDs, Blu-ray discs, hard disk, everything, because it's a mechanical component, that means it can break या उसको कोई ना कोई physical damage हो सकता है. So to overcome that physical damage, the organizations want that their system should be fault tolerant. So that is the basic requirement of the organizations. The fault tolerant means कि उनका जो data है वो loss ना हो. So there should be no data loss and the processing should continue without any problems. So basically RAID technology is there to rebuild the lost data. ठीक है, so RAID basically works in two ways. एक तरीका तो ये है that it tries to rebuild from the lost data. That means data जो है that is split and stored on different physical drives. आपका जो RAID system है उसमें for example different hard disks, multiple hard disks लगी हुई हैं एक server में, right जी? So data is split and stored on different physical drives, which improves the system performance and reliability. So that means कि अगर एक drive में problem आ रहा है, then it can rebuild data from the other drive because it has the bits of data stored there. Another way of doing this, of having this RAID system, is a simpler way, is that duplicating of data, that is disk mirroring. The same data that is stored in one drive is stored in the other drive as well, or it's stored in two more drives. ठीक है, for example hard disks, 3 hard disks में एक जैसा data है, so that is called the disk mirroring. Disk mirroring can be slightly expensive than the simple data splitting technology. Why? Because इसमें आपको बार-बार वही data और storage capacity आपकी ज़्यादा उसमें लग रही है. Right, so RAID is again a simpler concept जिसमें different एक server आप बना देते हैं जिसमें आपने different hard disks रखी हुई हैं, and those hard disks are specially there to store the organization data. आगे हम enterprise storage की बात करते हैं, then we're going to say देखेंगे कि RAID कहाँ पे use हो रहा है. RAID जो सारा system है वो कहाँ पे use हो रहा है. Okay, enterprise storage की जब हम बात करते हैं, then that means कि हमने जो simple storage की simple आपको एक बता दिया कि secondary storage होता क्या है. But at the enterprise level, obviously because there is a large amount of data, that means कि उसका storage mechanism भी थोड़ा slightly different होगा as compared to a simple personal computer का use. When we compare it with a simple personal computer. That is, enterprise storage is concerned with the products and services designed to assist organizations in storing and retrieving digital information. Right जी, 3 types हैं इसकी. One of them is attached storage. That means that the devices, simple storage devices, are attached to the computer system. Now, again, this would be a very simple system और उसमें data capacity, storing capacity ज़्यादा नहीं हो रही. Also, उसमें data sharing नहीं हो रही. So that creates a problem. To overcome that, as well as to provide 3 more things. Improve storage efficiency, that means store faster as well as share. Cost effectiveness, that means cost भी ज़्यादा नहीं आ रही, it's economical. And reduced risk of downtime. Downtime means कि आपका वो जो computer shut down हो जाते हैं and maintenance time जो होता है, that most of that is basically due to the fact that storage सही नहीं हो रही. And it has a basic data management से related downtime होता है. So to reduce that risk of downtime, to improve the storage efficiency and to have a economical system, आपकी 2 चीज़ें आ जाती हैं enterprise storage में. Number 1 is the network attached storage. Network attached storage means that a certain storage system is there which the computers can access through a network. Right जी? अब इसमें basically your network attached storage is a simple server जो कि specially designed server है for serving the files. ठीक है, आपके file level के ऊपर उसके ऊपर documents store हो रहे हैं. Right, it's a simple server, even though एक server होता है file server, but we are going to differentiate it from that by saying that the file server is a simple server जो कि specially designed नहीं हुआ हुआ to be used as a file server. NAS on the hand is a specially designed file server जो कि और कोई task नहीं कर रहा, कोई emailing वगैरह नहीं कर रहा और कोई processing नहीं कर रहा, but it's just there to act as a file server. Right? On the other hand, we have the storage area network. Again, computers connected in a LAN, local area network, or a wide area network can access this certain kind of a, you can say a server or a computer. जिसके ऊपर you have the data you can store on the computer, and you can access that through the server. ठीक है, आपका एक main server है, and storage area network में आपका जो एक और device लगी हुई है that is used for storage. आपके network attached NAS में आपके पास server was acting as a storage area, whereas in the storage area network there's another device that is connected with the server जिसके साथ आपका भी computer connected है. So you can communicate with that storage device through the LAN or the WAN, इसलिए इसको storage area network बोलते हैं. अब basic difference इन दोनों में क्या है? Again, network attached storage को हम एक simple file server के तौर पे लेते हैं, और storage area network को एक अलग computer के तौर पे लेते हैं, जिसका when you connect to storage area network और उसका storage device से connect होते हैं, तो वो वाली device की disk आपके computer के ऊपर visible हो जाती है. ठीक है, so this is the basic difference. Network attached storage में आपका simple file server के तौर पे use हो रहा है system, और storage area network में that disk is being shown on your screen as an extra disk of yours. ठीक है, आपकी एक extra hard disk आ गई है screen के ऊपर, and you can change the contents of that hard disk. So this is how these two systems work. Again, what are these two systems for storage services for? Is to improve the storage efficiency कि आप store करें, as well as anybody can share data on that storage device. Also, they are not costly because हर बंदे को अपने computers के साथ अलग से चीजें नहीं लगानी पड़ती, and reduces the risk of downtime. When you have a larger capacity to store, then there would be less problems of storage. Also, storage area network में आपका ये जो server जिसकी हमने बात की थी, या एक और device जिसकी हम बात की थी, that can be a RAID setup. ठीक है, आपका एक simple computer हो सकता है या server हो सकता है जिसके अंदर ये RAID technology आपने use की हुई है, और different hard disks उसके अंदर लगी हुई हैं that can store the data. So basically it integrates the different types of storage devices that can have the magnetic disk, the magnetic tapes, or using the RAID technology. Okay, now we've talked about, when we're talking about the hardware components, हमने processing की बात की, multiprocessing की बात की, we talked about the memory, we talked about the different kinds of storage that are required, the secondary storage that are required for the to build up an information system, and what are the requirements of the enterprise-wide storage. Now let's talk about the input and the output devices. बहुत basic devices हैं. So when the organizations, when they decide on what kind of input and output they require, ठीक है, so they consider a few of the features of these devices. For example, what is the form of output required? ठीक है, output आपको किस form में चाहिए? Then you require the nature of data, कि वो किस किस्म का data आपको enter करना है to get a certain output. And then you also consider the speed and the accuracy of the certain output devices, कि उनकी speed किस किस्म की है, or whether they are going to give us the kind of output needed or not. Right, input devices में simply we have the personal computer input devices में we have the keyboard, the mouse, trackball, and touchpad. Mouse, as we all know, this is a mouse. Trackball, mouse को तो आप move करते हैं. Trackball, on the other hand, again looks like a mouse, but it is a simple stationary device जिसके ऊपर एक छोटा सा ball लगा होता है, and you move that ball on that device to act as a mouse on the screen. ठीक है. Then we have touch pads. आपके लैपटॉप्स में the small portion on which you आप finger से अपना cursor को move करते हैं, that is the touch pad. ठीक है जी. Then we have the voice and the video input devices में आपके पास आ जाता है microphone, digital cameras and web camera. Microphone again आपके voice input के लिए, digital cameras for pictorial inputs. Digital camera में आप photograph लेते हैं, and then you use a simple USB cable to transfer those files to the computer, and when they come into the computer you can either edit them, alter them or transfer them to any other location. इसके अलावा when the digital cameras take in the photographs, they have the functionality to change the image into a digital form. उसके different colors होते हैं that have been already कैमरे के अंदर सेव होते हैं कि वो उन कलर्स को वो डिजिटाइज किस तरह करेंगे. ठीक है. वेब कैमरा अगेन इट टेक्स द वीडियो इनपुट एंड कन्वर्ट्स इट इनटू अ डिजिटल फॉर्म. स्कैनिंग डिवाइसेस में आपके पास आ जाते हैं. बेसिक वन इज द ऑप्टिकल स्कैनर्स. देन स्कैनर्स अगेन आर ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स. The basic one being the flatbed scanner. The handheld scanner is simply like a pen जो आपके you can use it in the hand. And then we have the drum scanners or sheet-fed scanners. So there are different kinds of scanners that are used for the scanning of the paper. क्या करते हैं? Textual और graphical data को convert करते हैं digital form में. So this is the basic purpose of the scan. Take the textual input या जिस किस्म का भी आप उसमें scanning data डाल रहे हैं वो उसको scan करता है. Either it's in the text form, either it's in the graphical form. Everything is scanned and converted into digital form. Then we have the pen input devices. Pen input means that there are certain that they're in the shape of the pen and that they can use on the screens. Usually touch screens के ऊपर use होते हैं. Number one is the stylus and then the digital pen. Stylus आपके पास एक plastic छोटे से plastic form में एक stick सी होती है that you can use with different PDFs or smartphones. Digital pen on the other hand can be used with the tablet PCs, and we use one of the forms of the digital pen, and both of them can be pressure sensitive. That means you आप pressure डालते हैं and with that technology आपके image जो है वो आ जाता है screen के ऊपर. In stylus or digital pen के साथ they use the hand recognition technology as well. Handwriting recognition technology are used in the PDAs or smartphones or the tablet PCs that are using these technologies, so that whatever you write on the screen is converted again to the digital form. And then we have the reading devices. Reading devices means we have the magnetic strip reader, the barcode reader, and the RFID reader are again one form of the input devices. Magnetic strip reader means that your bank cards or credit cards or debit cards have a strip at the back, ठीक है, that stores your information. ठीक है, किस किस्म जो भी इस किस्म के cards होंगे, they have a magnetic strip at the back of them, और उस strip के अंदर there is certain information. So the readers that are used to read those magnetic strips from those cards are called the magnetic strip readers. Barcode readers, again products के back के ऊपर जो barcodes होते हैं, black lines on a white surface, these are called the barcodes, and there are specific readers that use the laser or optical technology to read those barcodes and again convert those codes that they've read into digital form, और आपका उस सारे code के अंदर भी information होती है about the product. RFID readers, again they are there to read the RFID tags that are present on the products. RFID tags simple electronic chip होती है जिसको RFID reader read करता है. Again that chip has the information about that product. Then we have the touch sensitive screens. Again it's a form of input of simple touch screens that either used in the smartphones or they're used in mobile phones को basically when there has a lot of features in them, and then they are used in simple computer screens now. ठीक है जी. Then we have another category of the input device that is called the terminals. Terminals की 3 types हैं. Number one is a dumb terminal. So basically a dumb terminal is a simple device that has a monitor, a memory and a any kind of input device like a keyboard. ठीक है, so this is a basic terminal, and the processing power उसमें नहीं होती. The processing power is it is connected with through the network to another kind of device जिसके अंदर processing power होगी. Smart terminals, again, they have the monitor, the keyboard and the memory, but with little processing power. Major processing power again उसके connected computer में होगी. Special purpose terminals आपके पास आ जाते हैं point of sale terminal as well as the automatic teller machine जो आपका ATM है. These are the examples of the special purpose terminal जो कि special purpose के लिए use हो रहे हैं. आपका point of sale terminal जो है that is used for the sale items. For example, इसके अंदर आपके पास cash register आ जाता है, आपके पास barcode reader आ जाता है, as well as a printer. So these are the basic devices that are included in a point of sale customer. आपके cash register में cash पड़ा होता है, printer से receipt आपको print होके मिल जाती है, barcode reader is there to read the barcodes from the tag, or it has a keyboard as well जिसमें आपके पास कोई और input के लिए वो वाली चीज़ चाहिए होती है. So sometimes it needs the input from the keyboard as well. So all of this makes up the point of sale terminal. Again, ATM आपका special purpose terminal है. It has a magnetic card reader as well. ठीक है. Then you have the screen, you have the keyboard, as well as a very special purpose. That means के उसके अंदर से जो output आ रहा है, it has a slot for the money, as well as the receipt as well. ठीक है. So these are the very special ATMs. Again, major processing जो हो रही है ATMs और POS की, they are connected with another central computer. Righty. Then we have another kind of devices that use the biometric technology. A biometric technology क्या चीज़ है? That means आपके simple features जो एक human features होते हैं उनको convert करता है digital form में. So basically, biometric input devices are translating the personal characteristics into digital code and then comparing those characteristics with the digital code that is already saved in that system. ठीक है, वो खुद से तो आपका कोड नहीं जनरेट करेगा, एक कोड ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल होगा इन द सिस्टम. ठीक है, जो कि आपने फॉर एग्जांपल इफ एंड दे आर बेसिकली यूज्ड फॉर सिक्योरिटी रीजंस. तो फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू आर इन एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जिसकी बहुत ज़्यादा सिक्योरिटी है, तो आप क्या करेंगे, पहले फॉर एग्जांपल अपनी फोटोग्राफ दे दी उनको. ठीक है, सो दे हैव योर फेशियल फीचर्स. ठीक है, आपके फेस के फीचर्स उनके पास सेव्ड हैं. Now they're going to use a certain biometric technology, for example, the face recognition technology, जिसमें वो every time you enter that organization or a building, तो आपके जो face features हैं वो read होंगे and they are going to be compared in a digital form with a feature digital form that is already there in the computer. ठीक है जी, तो इसमें आपके पास 2-3 examples आ जाती हैं. You have the fingerprint scanner, again the very basic one, जिसमें आपके certain laptops also have this kind of feature कि password की जगह you simply press your thumb or a finger and it can read the fingerprint scanner and give you the access. Then, like I said, you have the face recognition जो आपके face features से आपको पहचानता है. Then you have the voice verification system, other devices that आप कुछ बोलते हैं and then it आपके वो वाले voice features जो हैं that are compared with the voice features that are already saved. Then you have the signature verification, again works in the same way. Your handwritten signature is compared. आपका pressure कितना है, आपका style क्या है, all these things are measured in the signature verification. And then you have the retina and iris scanners. ठीक है, रेटिना आयरिस स्कैनर्स मीन्स कि जो आपके आई को डिफरेंट जो आपने मूवीज़ में भी देखा होगा, देयर आर सर्टेन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो जिनमें बहुत ज़्यादा सिक्योरिटी रिक्वायर्ड होती है, देन दे यूज़ द आई रिकग्निशन सॉफ्टवेयर्स टू recognize the person कि either it's the authenticated person or not, right? So they use the retina or iris scanner. Retina means the simple blood vessels count करते हैं on the back of the eye, and iris is that round thing जो आपके आँख में होती है, the round pupil in the eye. ठीक है, so these are simple examples of the biometric input devices. ये वाली चीज़ें भी as input use होते हैं, and there are devices that read and recognize these devices and then they grant access, and they are basically used for security purposes or verification purposes. Okay, now what we have done till now, we've studied when you are selecting the hardware components of the organization for the information system to be created, then there are different things that need to be considered. For example, आपने ये देखना है कि आपकी processing power कितनी use हो रही है, what kind of processor are you going to use, right? What will be the machine cycle time of that, or what will be the speed of the computer, in other words, right? Then you're going to see कि how many bytes of memory do you require, आपका RAM जो है वो कितना, उसकी capacity कितनी होनी चाहिए. Memory का जो measuring unit है, that is in bytes, so you have memory, और अब तो बहुत ज़्यादा extensive forms की memories आ गई हैं. For example, you have the memory from gigabytes to terabytes, और अब petabytes भी आ गए हैं. So जितना data increase हो रहा है उतना आपके ये जो units हैं उसका जो category है वो increase होती जा रही है. So you have to decide what kind of memory do you require. इसके अलावा when you talk about this secondary storage devices, then you have to consider the number of storage devices that are required by a certain organization, as well as the storage types that are required. Either you want to save their data on simple DVDs or Blu-ray discs, or you want to save data on the hard disks, या आपने duplicate करना है data, या आपने backup करना है data. So require, again, DVDs require for backing up data, or you're backing up data on simple hard disks again. Okay? And then what kind of technology that is being used in duplicating the data or backing up the data. एक technology हमने देखी है RAID, ठीक है, that is the redundant array of independent data. And then when we say that storage required है, then the enterprise, we also said that enterprises require a lot of storage space. ठीक है, और उस सारी storage space को you have to manage it. ठीक है, तो organizations में फिर हमने दो types of storage systems देखे थे. That was the network attached storage as well as the storage area network, कि जिसमें आप different servers और network के through आप connect कर रहे हैं to share storage devices as well as to create more capacity to store the data. ठीक है, so दो चीज़ें उसमें आ गई हैं. एक तो ये कि storage capacity increase की है, दूसरा ये कि आपने storage को जो अपना data है उसको share किया. So because the organizations need the data to be shared, so these are the two storage technologies being used in the organizations. Right जी, उसके अलावा when we talked about the input devices, ठीक है, input devices हमने different kinds of input देखे थे कि जब हम वैसे input की बात करते हैं तो हम कहते हैं okay keyboard, mouse है, microphone है. This is very simple. लेकिन when we talk about the different kind of technologies, then we see कि जो आपके input systems हैं, input devices हैं, that belong to varied categories. ठीक है, आपके simple scanners to reading devices to simple terminals से biometric input. So it depends on what kind of technology is required by the organization to make that certain information system. So that technology, जब आपके पास इतनी सारी technologies होती हैं तो आपको देखना पड़ता है कि कौन सा आपके लिए बेहतर काम करेगा. What will be best for the organization, and or in other words, what is needed for the organization. Right जी, so ये सारी चीज़ें हमने देखी थी, and the basic purpose of telling you all this is that even though you have studied all these things before as well, this was just a revision of what are the hardware components and what are the different features of each component जो कि consider करना पड़ता है when you are buying hardware for the information system. ठीक है, next lecture में we are going to study about the different output devices. Output devices जो हैं वो कौन-कौन से होते हैं, ठीक है, again उनके certain features explain करेंगे, not in detail but briefly, as well as we're going to talk about the application software as well as the system software. System software में आपके पास operating systems आ जाते हैं, किस किस्म का operating system required to run a certain information system, as well as the different kinds of application enterprise level के application software जो हैं वो थोड़ा सा हम देखेंगे कि वो किस किस्म के होते हैं. So basically this chapter is all about defining the different hardwares and the softwares that are required for the information system. उसके बाद वाले chapters में we are going to study the data management, telecommunication and internet services. तो ये बाकी सारी चीज़ें आपके next chapter में पढ़ेंगे. In this chapter, it's only going to be about the hardware and the software, which is not going to be very difficult. आपको simple थोड़ा सा idea देंगे about what are the hardware and the software requirements, or what are the hardware and software technologies that can be required by the organization. Thank you.